Ew, ew. Oh, why you gotta do, man? That's rough. That's rough, Robbie.
I'm
Ouch.
upset. I'm upset.
Ouch. Ouch.
Uh,
I hope you burn
hopefully
mine
everyone had
too.
a better weekend than me. Hopefully I don't burn the tent down. I'm just going to scoot that away. That's fine. Seems to be under control. Thank you guys for joining us on a Monday. Hopefully you had a good and safe weekend. We will get into all that, as you know, if you watch Friday's show. But Tyler, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was good, man. Got to sit back, watch a lot of football. Not very happy with how my parlay went out, as I can see you are not as well. I think your loss was worse than mine, because at least I lost multiple ones I didn't have a chance. But all in all, it was good. Also got my championship hat here, so that was nice that came this weekend. My first
in the house.
Yeah, my first piece of memorabilia that I spent way too much on, bought way too much stuff, but that's all right. Ronnie?
It's never too much.
Ronnie, how was your weekend? How did you, other than the betting, how did you enjoy Vegas?
Other than the betting, it was fine. It was good. It was a good time. It's relit itself.
It's still going?
I got it safely in this little, formerly my Murder Hornet candle.
Oh, yeah. There you go, yeah.
So it should be fine. But, no, Vegas was pretty cool. They are definitely doing a good job as far as masking up, sanitizing constantly.
Sure.
Didn't really noticeably less people there, but people were being pretty respectful of the rules. Just happy that they're able to go back there, as we were too. But beyond the betting, which we will get into, it was a good time.
Good.
Shout out to the Flamingo.
Love the Flamingo.
Pretty much all of us were at the Flamingo.
Yeah.
So good time was had by all. Also, shout out to Andy. Happy birthday. And also Amanda, whose actual birthday is today. Hence the reason for the trip.
Exactly.
Thank you guys.
And hence for a shortened show, most likely tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to skirt out of here, pretty quick. We are going to have a little birthday dinner for Amanda tonight, so I'll be there soon if you guys are watching over there. But let's just get into some of the quick stories right off the top. Over the weekend, I'll have to get the Lunhow one because that saga continues. But as you know, we are the NASCAR show of record.
That we are.
And we have a champion, ladies and gentlemen. Chase Elliott did pull that off. As you know, we're both still disappointed about Harvick. But with this playoff format, it's kind of...
It is what it is.
It gets down to the do or die time, and you got to make a move. And he kind of fell flat, coming into the last 4 or 5 races before the cut, and he didn't make it. But shout out to Chase Elliott. Also, I believe the last race for Jimmy Johnson, his teammate. I saw a couple tweets of them, sharing love towards each other. But a deserving champion. He pretty much dominated that race.
Oh, yeah.
I only saw bits and pieces of it. I don't know how much you saw that, Tyler.
Yeah, I got to watch a nice chunk of it. Yeah, I mean, Elliott led for seemed like the vast majority of the race. He won by 3 seconds. Nobody was really near him. The only thing, and I say this every year about the final race in NASCAR, I find it really funny how it's always the 4 people in the finals always finish 1 through 4. It's kind of weird how it always seems to work that way. But big shout out to Chase Elliott. Well-deserved win.
Of course. And let's get a couple little baseball news and notes here. First of all, the new manager of the Chicago White Sox, Mr. Tony La Russa, as it was revealed today, charged with a DUI 1 day before he was hired as the new White Sox manager. So I don't know if anyone out there remembers, he also had a DUI where I believe he was asleep in a left turn lane.
That is correct.
In Florida.
Correct.
He was a manager of the Cardinals, so not the best look. I know people were sort of curious about this choice for the hire anyway, and this just kind of piles on to, not great.
No, not a good look. Like you said, he had the one back in it was either 07 or 08 where he passed out at a stoplight in Florida. This one, I believe what I read was he smashed into a curb in Arizona and kind of tried to get out of the car and flee. I don't know if it was flee the scene or what, but Yeah, not a good look. Not a good look. He did this back in February. He was officially charged for it one day before. The White Sox hired him, and then, of course, they hired him. So, yeah, tough look for your boy. That's for sure.
My boy. How dare you? Well, I wish him all the best. I mean, not going to pat him on the back for the DUI. It's always a terrible look. But, yeah. I mean, hopefully it works out for him and the Red Sox. I don't know, but
the Red Sox,
the White Sox.
Yeah,
Again, an auspicious start for the Tony La Russa era in Chicago.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the last thing in baseball, this Astros Lunhow saga just continues. He is now suing the Astros, basically claiming that they made him the scapegoat for this whole thing, and essentially that the owner negotiated, penalties without him to sort of set him up to be like the patsy here. This is going to get worse and worse. It's just going to drag on, but we'll see what happens there. But it's definitely notable. I know everyone knows what happened with the Astros and the penalties that ultimately did get handed out. But it seems like this is probably going to drag on for a considerable amount of time.
You should have said, quote, penalties, in quote.
Yeah. The kid glove penalties that were levied. The hard justice of Rob Manfred.
Yes. Yeah,
Stern, but unfair.
Yeah, this is a story that's just unfortunately not going to go away. Recently Lunhow said they have no evidence that I was involved at all, to which the MLB, like the very next day, was like, we have evidence. That's why we did what we did. So we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, well, just stay tuned for that one. One other story. We don't have a lot of time, like I said, because I'm going to run out here to dinner here in a little bit, but have to address, and this is nice kind of a segue into the betting aspect of the show for those initiated viewers that did watch on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We did have probably, I would say, we were talking about it before the show. You'd have to say the game of the season so far in college football, just due to the significance of it. Really entertaining game. A lot of points on the board. Smashed the over, by the way.
Yep.
We'll get into shortly thereafter. But a couple side notes here. First of all, everyone is asking about Trevor Lawrence. Can't play, but can be on the sideline and clearly pulling his mask down, talking to guys. So this is just, I think, yet another thing that adds to the confusion of what college football is going to do to make it through this season and make it through potentially a playoff, because all the different conference rules, we barely just had the Pac-12 get going this weekend. It's going to be weird, but yeah, this was kind of a head scratcher. They kept showing him during the game, just standing there. Most of the time had his mask on. Of course, this is a really bad look with pulling the mask down that honestly probably should not have him be out there. Just an awkward situation. And then compounded by Notre Dame, as you saw in the box score, did pull off the win in double overtime. And college football, of course, you upset the number one team, you're rushing the field.
Yeah.
Again, not a great look, but the other hand, all the conference commissioners, all the schools wanted to do this thing and play. So you are going to run into situations like this. And now you have a giant crowd of people piled on top of each other. I mean, yes, they were, probably relatively close to each other in the stands, but this is not going to be the last one of these that we see, I don't think. So I just kind of wanted to get your take on this, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's obviously not the best look, but my whole thought kind of for the beginning was like, well, like these guys were just already crammed the stands together anyway. So, I mean, this isn't that much different, I guess, other than you got a whole stadium, I guess, closer together than they were in the stands. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough look. I'm interested to see what comes of this. If all of a sudden we get a spike in, players from Notre Dame having COVID cases, and maybe they have to forfeit a few games, and now they screw themselves out of making the playoffs because they don't meet the game requirement.
Right after their signature win, that puts them right there firmly in the mix. yeah, we'll see what happens in the weeks to come. But these are just situations that I think it's kind of inevitable. I mean, exuberant college kids, big upset win. It's kind of what they do.
Sure.
And you guys agreed to move on with the season. So, again, just kind of stay tuned to see. I don't know. Maybe we're going to have some like stormtroopers down on the sideline just tasing kids that try to rush the field. But, yeah, this is just an awkward look for everyone involved. Yeah, a couple comments there. We have, obviously, you see Jaime there. That celebration bleeds COVID. And Jaime, feeling some type of way with Notre Dame beating Clemson. I thought it was a good game. I mean,
yeah,
without Lawrence, Lawrence was there and occasionally pulling down his mask, as we saw, but some reason not allowed to play. But Clemson's still obviously a capable team full of really talented players, and definitely a marquee win for Notre Dame. Cease coming in too, relax, unlimited ventilation outside. Yes, true, but probably, I don't know, you have to step up the security, because I feel like every conference, chairman, commissioner, whatever, that has one of these happens, you're just going to look like the GOAT here. You're going to just wear it that you allowed this to happen. And it was, again, the most high profile game of the week. So that's where it is. But, another comment here from Nick. Chiming in, we can all hope everyone was wearing a mask. Who am I kidding? Do college kids even use protection? Great point.
From my recollection of college, no, nobody uses protection.
Probably not. Not the time in your life when you're making the most sound decisions. But that will take us into the betting. As you know, a lucrative parlay on a $20 bet to win $440. I really try to get as weird as possible with this. Well, honestly, Arizona State, USC, I wanted to get college and NFL into it. And I saw the 11. I was like, USC, their first game of the season. They're 20. I still don't think they're going to cover that. They didn't. I woke up a little hungover, let's be honest. Vegas. The first thing I saw was ASU beating the crap out of USC.
Yeah.
And kind of brought me back to life. I was like, all right, the parlay's on. Then, had to wait a couple hours, but I believe Clemson Notre Dame was easily around 35 total points at halftime. Didn't really have too much worry about that. Mm-hmm. The trickiest bet of the entire weekend, I believe, was leg 3. And Giants got that. They got, I think, 23 total points at halftime. Mm-hmm. I thought this was the one. There's no way I'm going to lose. Yep. And I still like the Bills. I know Tyler had the opposite of this with the Seahawks covering that. Yep. The Bills jumped all over them. Nice win for them. Unfortunate for my Jets, which we'll get into in a second. But hit that one. I was like, cool. I put these, first of all, I put them in order of sort of like when it would happen throughout the weekend. And put the Steelers one just down there at the bottom. They got it. They got some random guy playing quarterback. I think on the broadcast they said it was like 2,600 days in the NFL before he got this first start. I was like, we're good, dude. Cowboys defense sucks. This guy, we're good. Yeah. And the Steelers didn't even show up. And they ended up winning the game, which was the most spiteful thing of all, because I already don't like the Steelers. So they still get the win. But it was plainly obvious at the end of the first quarter how flat they came out. I was like, it's no way in hell they're going to cover this 15 points that I need. And they're probably still going to win, because it wasn't like the Cowboys weren't blowing them out. The Steelers were just like not there.
Sleepwalking. They were sleepwalking.
Yeah. And of course, you would probably overlook this game. I still was even factoring that in to covering the 15.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I'm upset. I'm so upset. Tyler had this one on his parlay too.
I did. Yeah. This was the one that, I even said it on Friday, like despite the 14.5, it was the one that I was most confident on my parlay.
I was probably the least worried about this one on mine too.
Yeah.
Giants, Washington first half. I'm a psycho.
Oh yeah. You got problems. But no, I didn't even watch. I mean, I didn't watch that game. I was watching. I had on my TV, I had the Chargers and Raiders, and on my computer, I had the Dolphins and Cardinals. I was like, oh, the Steelers are going to get this. Like even when they came out the gate slow, I was like, oh, they'll be fine. They'll come around. And then they didn't come around. I was like, okay, what the hell's happening here? And then I watched the fourth quarter when they made a comeback and Dallas's defense just went super undisciplined, all kinds of penalties, whatever. But yeah, definitely.
Dallas. They went full Dallas.
Yeah, I will say this, and Ronnie, because it's happened to me more than once on a 5, 6, 7 leg parlay. When you lose, for anybody that doesn't know, on a parlay, if you lose one of your bets, one of your picks, you lose the whole thing.
It's out. Yeah,
losing only one and it being the last game of the day is the worst way to go out. I would rather lose my first game and just know that it's done.
It's so much easier. It's like,
and in my
all right, there it is.
In my parlay, I lost 2 or 3 of them. So I was like, you know what? I can live with that. It just wasn't my week. I made bad picks. Yours is just I'm really sorry. Like, especially after the Giants Washington one hit, even though I had the Seahawks, you had the Bills, I was pulling for you because I was like, the ridiculousness of yours is just like, I want you to get that. I want you to be rewarded for the stupidity of it. But man, yeah, that's fucking Steelers, man.
Yeah, and I mean the Bills-Seahawks game was going on at the same time in that morning window. That was out of hand. Even
Bills,
I was texting Tyler, look, the Seahawks may still win, maybe, because they can score, or they could keep it interesting to where that may stay alive at least towards the end. But they had built up enough of a lead where I was like, I think I'm good on that.
You're good on the 3 for sure. Yeah.
+3 at home, and they just kept their foot on the gas and took care of business. And the Giants one hit, dude.
Yeah.
That is I wish it was just 6 points at halftime, like Tyler said, so I could just rip that ticket up and not even have to worry about it. But alas, God, I hate the Steelers. I hate the Steelers so much. Yeah. I can't.
Well, Ronnie, look at it this way. As of right now, as of this moment, as of 7:52 p.m. on Monday, November 9th, you and I both still have one big bet out there that is technically possible.
Oh, yes.
For those of you that watched it Friday, you know what we're talking about. If you didn't, it is, there we go. That one, you put up no, that was your ticket.
This is mine. So I roped Tyler into this because it was 9,900 to 1.
Yes.
I tried to bet $1 on it. It wasn't legally possible at William Hill. So I went for 2. I doubled up. Yep. Really, rolling the dice. Yep. $2 to win $19,800. But I roped Tyler into this. He put 10 on it to win $99,000. So there's that ticket, and it's still alive.
Yeah.
Has that game gone final?
No, there's according to my phone, there's about 3.5 minutes left. It looks like the Patriots are driving. It's 27-20 Jets. Look, as long shot as this is, I mean, I need to again go back and do the math, but I think if the Jets lose tonight, I'm pretty sure this bet is already lost. If they win tonight, I think we kind of have a shot just because the Bills have already beaten the Jets twice this year. The Bills have 7 wins. The Jets are 0-8 right now, so it's. We would both need a ton of crazy things to happen, including some Miami losses, some Patriots losses. But look, at odds like that, man, I would have just wasted that $10 on something else. So you know what? Might as well do something that I can get profit on. Yeah, I do not regret this bet at all.
I mean, $99,000. Come on. When we look back on this and you're cruising in your Maserati, then it was all worth it. They called me mad. They laughed at me.
Dude, you've seen where I live. There's no way I'm driving a Maserati through this hood for more than 3 minutes.
But also, as you know, on Friday I did hedge my bet. So if the Jets do blow it,
there you go.
A chance. Still got a chance and some money to get $34.
That's good thinking right there. That's good strategy.
But let's close it out here. I do have to run here shortly. Let's just take a look at the NFL rundown over the weekend. I'm going to take the scroller off here at the bottom. Denver, Atlanta. Atlanta did pull out the win. Denver was a little more game than I thought, but Atlanta is a better team. They just have, their everything about them that indicates that they might blow it at any time.
Yeah, no, Atlanta looked good for the most part. I mean, Denver kind of made a bit of a comeback, and it's something that I've kind of felt about Drew Lock for a while. Is he's really good in the second half once the other team goes to prevent defense because they've got such a big lead. That's kind of
Right.
Drew Lock is absolutely a stat pad garbage time quarterback.
Your garbage time king, Drew
Yeah.
Lock.
So now Atlanta holding on there. We touched on Buffalo just coming out, just punching Seattle right in the mouth repeatedly. Russell Wilson had I think it was 2 picks and a fumble, just probably the worst game of his NFL career.
Yeah.
Buffalo, they look when Josh Allen gets rolling, he is unstoppable. He's a monster, and he definitely showed up. Had one of those really good games that showed why he was an early MVP candidate this season.
We're good there. I know Tyler had the Bears-Titans game as part of his parlay, for the Bears to cover that.
I had the Bears plus 6.5, and they lost by 7. So fuck you, Chicago.
Yeah, they were still hanging around, competitive, but just having trouble scoring.
I wouldn't say that.
There was a couple times when I glanced at it. It wasn't the game I was focusing on. I did make a run down in the morning to make another all NFL parlay for myself and producer Tanaya. We made a couple parlays. She was knocked out by the Seahawks game that she put in there. And, I had that Bears covering the 6.5. It looked like it could happen, just never were really in it, but had maybe an outside chance to cover it. On my NFL parlay, I had the over in the Baltimore Indy game, which was not even close. They ended up with 34 total points. I think it was like 52 was the over.
Yeah.
So disappointing there. Carolina, Kansas City was a good game. We had
really
McCaffrey coming back.
Yeah.
And
he's hurt again already, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. And Minnesota, another win for them. Not going to say they're really just rolling now. Still looking up at the Bears and Packers there, but
a couple wins going though.
Yeah, and a team like we've said, people were looking at beginning of the season. It just didn't work out well to come out of the blocks like that.
Yep.
And then my beloved Giants, Washington, first half.
Oh, God.
That's when I thought everything was falling into place.
By the way, I will say play of the week, if you haven't seen it, look at the bizarre fumble from that Giants-Washington game. Watch that play and then realize one of these teams could possibly host a playoff game.
Home playoff game, still on the cards.
They are both. I saw Nick made a comment earlier about the Giants may still win it. The Redskins or the football team are still in it as well. Do not count them out.
Anything's possible in that terrible division. I felt that it was going to go over 21, which it did.
It did.
I thought God was on my side, but alas, no. And Houston, Jacksonville, I think I had this one in that second parlay I made, all NFL, for Jacksonville to cover because they were at home, but they were +3, which it hit. But now we got into the TQN Bowl, the TQN Classico.
Oh, yeah.
Which I was kind of just keeping an eye on. Like, obviously, I'm rooting for the Raiders, but I was so mad at what was happening in the Cowboys-Steelers game that I was, just like a car crash, just beside myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually missed the sequence of events at the end. I mean, the broadcast was still on to show the fallout, but Tyler, maybe just take us through that one as it pertains to this show.
Yeah, so the Chargers were down by 5, as you can see the final score there. Made a nice drive to get into the red zone for the Raiders. Final 2 plays of the game were a pass to Mike Williams, which he had in his hands, feet in the end zone, fell down to the ground, dropped it, and hurt himself in the process. And then the final play, the Chargers went for another pass to their third-string tight end instead of, maybe the ball to, maybe Keenan Allen, the guy that makes all the plays for you. But no, they throw the ball to their third-string tight end. He has it in his hands, feet in the end zone, falls to one knee in the end zone, and when he hits the ground, the ball pops out. So the Chargers, in yet another – you got to give these guys credit. They are still coming up with some inventive ways.
Just finding ways.
I'm not even mad. It's impressive at this point in time. But, yeah, the Chargers wind up finding another way to lose the game. Raiders – look, I'll say the Chargers didn't deserve it at all because Derek Carr was burning them on deep passes, which that shouldn't happen to anybody ever.
No, it should not.
But Raiders offense looked good. Raiders defense made a couple plays, didn't look that great, but again, did enough to get the win. How many heartbreaking losses to Chargers? Chargers ain't going back to San Diego, man. I don't think San Diego wants them back.
Unless heartbreaking losses can build a stadium somehow.
Exactly.
Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. The Chargers they'll rink in LA for as long as they can. But yeah, again, Chargers finding another way to lose. It's Herbert. Herbert looked great, but that's the story of the Chargers. Is they're just going to have another.
Especially this season is pretty much Herbert looks really good since he's got out there, but just can't close him out.
I can't blame Anthony Lynn. Chargers fans, I know you want Anthony Lynn out of there. You can't blame Lynn for this one. This was just, players just didn't make the plays.
And also shout out to, of course, my Raiders 5-3. Keep hope alive. Sorry, Amanda, but Aguilar, it's my guy. he's reborn in Vegas.
That's right.
Reborn. Old people know, that's why they moved to the heat. It's easier
true.
On the joints.
Exactly.
Apparently, like a lizard, you can regrow your hands. I don't know what happened, but Aguilar now suddenly can catch the ball sometimes. So
there we go.
Love to see it. Miami, Arizona actually turned out to be a really good game as well.
Good game.
Watched that with Evan was in our traveling party. Dolphins fan. Tua is now 2-0. That was a pretty back and forth game too. Even getting pretty late into the game, still couldn't really call it either way.
Yeah.
The Dolphins pull that one out, and I think we've talked about it many times. Dolphins really haven't been out of games this year.
Not at all. Not at all.
They're right there, like a couple steps away from really becoming a team that could challenge the Bills. We don't know what's going to happen to the Patriots, especially if you lose to the Jets. That ain't good. But the Jets are going to win the division, as you know.
As you know,
Tyler and I will be fabulously wealthy.
Yeah.
And
you won't see us for a while until we blow. Well, maybe like a weekend in Vegas, I'll blow through all that money, and then you'll see me again.
I lost it all.
I put it all on 0-0.
And then really, well, you have to say one of the shockers of the weekend.
Sure.
Tampa Bay just getting it handed to them by the Saints, who, as Tyler has mentioned, the Saints are just kind of chugging along under the radar. Not really exciting wins or anything like that, but they are getting it done. And it's kind of like one of those, yes, Tampa Bay, they've got all these guys with Brady now. Their defense has some really star-looking players, but it's kind of like to be the man, you got to beat the man. I know they beat him in week 1, but the Saints sort of stumbled coming out of the gate, and now they're just kind of picking up that normal Saints momentum like they're always around. And that was a big statement for them. I missed a lot of it, on the flight back. I was just catching bits and pieces in both airports, and I think it was just ending by the time we got home. But that was kind of a shocker, I guess you would say. Everyone's kind of getting on the Brady Buccaneers hype train. They just got Antonio Brown in there, and just 3 points though. Eek.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great effort by the Saints defense. They were in Tom Brady's face all game, and let's not kid ourselves. Brady's never been able to move. Now that he's 56 years old, he can't.
1,000 years old.
He really can't move. Yeah. So I mean, they just did a great job, just in his face all game, never giving him any time to get set, get comfortable, and then the Saints offense just kind of moved at will as well. So yeah, it was a just very impressive performance by the Saints. Probably, I would definitely say the best they've looked all year. By the way, it's Jesus Christ. Sorry, I just got an update in the Monday night. It's 27.
It's good news for me.
It's 27-27, but the Jets had the ball, and it looks like they turned it over to the Patriots. The Patriots had the ball, 47 seconds left.
All right. Well, it may be looking like my 0-16 bet is the only one still in.
That might be the one to go. Yeah.
All right, Jets. Either way, don't let me down.
Oh, Ronnie, that's all the Jets do is let people down.
I'm on both sides, baby. Just don't let me down one way or the other.
You were smart. That's true. Yeah. What if they lose tonight and then win next week? That would be.
I think they are playing the Chargers in, I believe, 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's one that the Chargers could find a way to lose. That
would hate to see that.
No,
unless the Jets need it. They win this game and they just rack them off and win that division.
That's true.
I really do need it in that case. But that will probably have to sign off here. We'll see what happens in this Monday night game. I do have to run out to dinner, but thank you guys as always for joining. God, I hate the Steelers so much. That's all I could really say. That's all I have. I'm too upset.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Stick around here on the network. We got at 8:30. We'll have the book club for TV with Patrice coming on. I didn't see what topic she's on here. Happy birthday, Amanda. Enjoy the dinner. Enjoy the rest of the game, which might be going into overtime now, actually. But stick around. We'll be back on Wednesday. We'll talk a little bit different stuff. Definitely give a little bit of a preview of the Masters. We got the Masters coming up this week.
Yes, the Sham Bombs.
We'll get into more of your comments again. Sorry, today we're a little bit cramped for time, so we couldn't get into all the comments. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for commenting. We love you guys. Keep the fire.
Keep the fire.